In all my years as a guitar player, what? You want me to read this now? Right now? Okay, this just in. Making real progress requires real effort. During my time as a guitar player, I've had many episodes where I sort of felt lost, right? I didn't know if what I was practicing was getting me further down the road towards what I wanted to hear myself playing. I didn't know if I was practicing the right thing, right? I just felt sort of adrift. There are two pieces of good news here. We're all experiencing this from time to time. This isn't just something about, this isn't just the way it happens for me. All of us have these moments, right? And in the decades that I've been teaching, I've been able to apply a very simple method to get productive and get results. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. Today you will learn how to define and attain effective goals. Now, this isn't rocket science. We've been doing this for centuries. Basically, defining really good goals, that's a thing. That's like a little art form. And then to attain them, you have to apply sustained effort over time. That's how bridges get built. That's how ships get built. That's how athletes get to peak performance. This isn't brand new information and it's not magical. But as guitar players, we might lose sight of how to apply that to this thing specifically, right? Because we want to have fun. We're musicians. We want to have a good time. We want to play guitar better. We can't really be bothered with that goal setting, right? But actually, that's really the route to real success. Okay, so there are two elements here that we're going to get to. First, we're going to talk about how to define really effective goals, right? That's number one. Number two, we're going to talk about, even if you have limited time, how do you apply that sustained effort over time to attain those goals, right? Because it's a little bit different. You got to drill down and really make a concerted and holistic effort to do that for guitar practice. So these questions have come up in the studio. That's my teaching platform. It's available through Patreon, where I'm interacting with guitar players all the time. And we're discussing this kind of stuff a lot. Like, how do I get better at guitar? How do I crack this mystery? Right? How do I apply my time to something that's actually going to make me better, right? So this is an age-old question. And for musicians, it's a little bit different. Okay, number one, effective goals. How do we break down this big thing of I want to be a better guitar player into something that I can actually achieve, into tasks that I can practice and apply that effort to, right? So ultimately, there's one big thing here. I want to change my musical preference into my musical capability. I really love the sound of that thing. I really love that guitar player. I want to be able to do that. That's the big picture, right? But you can't track progress against that. You can over time if you film yourself and then 2 years later, you're like, yeah, I did get better a little bit. But you've got to start breaking it down. That's how you do this thing. So let me give you an example. Now, you may be a metal player. You may be a jazz player. Maybe you're into bluegrass. Maybe, who knows, right? I'm just going to give you an example. I want to be a better blues player. That's what I want, right? My musical preference is the blues. So I want to be better at that, right? The very first thing you have to do is you have to take an example of that, right? And you have to bring it in and you have to look at it and analyze it. Because what we're going to do is tear that apart and get some goals. So here's a song by ZZ Top that I love. It's great. It's called She Loves My Automobile, and it's a blues shuffle in A. The rhythm part goes like this. Now it goes through the whole thing, to the 5 chord and all that stuff. But that's the core thing, and that's really something special about it that I like. My shuffle right now is this. If I play it fast, it's not there yet, right? So I've identified a delta. I want my shuffle to be better, right? Shuffle. I need to work on my shuffle. So what is it about his shuffle that's so cool? So I put ZZ Top back on. I listen to Billy Gibbons. Listen to myself. My shuffle's really straight. His has this really cool loping thing. I think that's swing. He's swinging, right? Mine's really straight. His is really swung. I got to work on swinging. Boom, I got a sub goal. I got to work on my swing feel. Bam. The other thing he's doing is mine is really even and flat sounding, and his is really dynamic. He's got like real big accents on some of the notes. So I got to work on that. Blues shuffle. I know it. I want to get better at it. I put it in my little column here, and I've got some subtasks for it. I got to get better at that swing feel, and I really want to work on those accents. Now, the solo comes up, and that's a big part of what I want. I want to be a better blues player, so that's rhythm playing and soloing. An excerpt from the solo is this. Wow, I can't do that yet. It's not there. There's a delta in between what I can do and what he can do. Let me figure out what's going on there. He seems to be playing the same notes, like... He's really playing some cool notes there. When I'm playing the pentatonic scale, I seem to be just like playing the notes from the scale. I want to be more thoughtful about the notes I'm playing, right? So I've got this pentatonic idea, right? He plays better than I do. I'm starting to identify some of the stuff. His playing seems to be more thoughtful. His note choices are more impactful. They're really cool. I want to work on that. Okay, the other thing that I noticed... His bending and vibrato are way better than mine. Like my vibrato right now, and my bending is... Sorry, I'm just doing a demonstration here. It's not there yet, right? I've got to work on my bending and my vibrato. So now I've got these two ideas here, right? The shuffle, got two subtasks there, and I got my pentatonic playing, I got two subtasks there. Now I've got my goals, and I've got them sort of down to some subtasks that I can really get my head around and really focus on. Okay, next up is sustained effort over time. This is how I'm going to apply myself to achieve these goals, right? Time, that's a big one for me. I only have 20 minutes a day on the weekdays. My weekends are packed, and I got to take the kids to school, and I got my job, and I only have 20 minutes a day, right? So here's my 20 minutes. It's precious, right? And I'm doing this thing now. I've got my goals, so I really want to apply sustained effort over time in a focused way. Here are my 20 minutes. I'm going to break this down into 5-minute chunks. Boom. There we go. All right. 5-minute chunk number one. I don't want to spend my entire 20 minutes playing guitar like in a joyless vacuum where I just feel like I'm working. So the first 5 minutes, I'm just going to like do whatever it is I do.
5 minutes later.
5 minutes of just playing around, right? So I just feel like I'm getting some joy. Boom, the timer goes off and it's time for me to get to work. That second 5 minutes, I'm gonna bring in my shuffle tasks. I'm gonna put them in there, right? I'm gonna work on my shuffle for 5 minutes. And there's two things I'm working on. Remember, that swing feel. Not this. Getting those time values together and really working on that little piece, right? Now, the other thing about the shuffle is he's doing these accents, right? He's accenting those upbeats. I might work on it really slow and then get it up to speed. So, that is the second 5 minutes. I got 10 minutes left, right? My next 5 minutes, I'm going to spend on that pentatonic task. He's playing the same notes there. He's just staying in that one spot and he's getting a ton of mileage out of it. What are those notes he's choosing and why? What is that? That's the root. That's my A. That's the whole step below the A is the flat 7. And that one above it, that's the minor third. Turns out that's the big secret. Root, flat 7, flat 3. So I better pay attention to those three notes. And then there's that vibrato, right? So I've got those those note choices that I really want to get into, and then he's got this great vibrato. It's really even. He's not bending sharp. He's just really even, staying in pitch. And then his bending. He's really hitting those pitches. So I'm going to work on my pitch bending. I'm going to work to bend into pitch. And I'm going to work on that vibrato to make it really even, right? Buzzer goes off. Now I'm done. I only have 5 minutes left. Well, I just want to do something that's going to make me happy, right? I'm going to work on that Bob Dylan tune I've been working on.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Now, I've spent my 20 minutes. I spent 5 just messing around. Spent 5 minutes on my shuffle and 5 minutes on my pentatonic work. And then I spent the rest of the time just like messing around with that Bob Dylan tune. There are 2 stories I'm about to tell you. 3 weeks into the future, when I didn't do this, am I a better blues player? I really don't even know how I would find out. But I might be, but maybe I'm not. Story number 2. 3 weeks after I do this, for 20 minutes every day, am I a better blues player? Yeah, because my shuffle's better. My pentatonic playing is better. And those elements make up what a good blues player is. And I'm better at them now. I'm closer to that goal. Now I'm really starting to change my musical preference into my musical capability. Okay, there it is. Turns out defining good goals and applying sustained effort over time is how you get anything done. Right? It's how we build ships. It's how athletes get to peak performance. It's how you do your job at work. It's how you're a good parent. It's all that stuff, right? Apply it to your guitar playing in order to track that progress. Now, instead of like, oh, I don't even really know if I'm getting any better, or I don't even really know if what I'm doing is going to help. Now you absolutely have proof. Make sure you bring one of these along, right? Get your goals, start defining what they are, get that big picture. Zoom in, enhance. Enhance again. Get a couple of tasks for each one of these elements. Work on them for a few weeks. You'll get to your goals faster. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found it interesting. And I'll see you next time.